Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm so happy you made it here today. Yay you, yay you. But no, today I'm going to show you guys how I do my everyday week. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss any more amazing makeup videos. Because that's what I'm coming to you for. Makeup, 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 makeup. Okay, so first I'm gonna start off, as everyone should start off, with a daily moisturizer. I'm not gonna show you the product that I use to moisturize my face because this product is a product that I actually came up with. I sat down, really studied my skin, and then I looked up what my skin needed, and I added everything that I felt like my skin needed at the time into a base that was going to allow all the stuff that I put in here to really sink into my face and not like harm my face or irritate my face. Alright, so we're basically gonna move on to now, right after you have your daily moisturizer, we're gonna go ahead and move on to a primer. Okay, now this primer, I actually love their primer because it is extremely sticky, and so when I go ahead and I put on like other foundations and whatnot, it all just like, it just sucks it all in and it makes it stay there. So what else can you want from a primer? Oh, I lied, you can also want hydration. That's a good one. I have a dry face, okay? I need all the hydration that I can get. Okay, so I color correct my dark circles because they just gotta go. They really gotta go. Like, I be out here trying to live my best life, and then they're a tell that you're just not having a good time, that you are just stressed and you don't sleep. And it's just like, nah, these gotta go. These ultimately have to go. And so also, when it comes to like color correcting, you also want to make sure that you are applying a little bit at a time. A little bit at a time. And then you go ahead and you build that up. Because if you go ahead and you put like, for example, my foundation has like a yellow tone to it because I'm yellow. But it does have a yellow tone to it. And so if I go ahead and I just pack on my lids with like all this pink, and I do not like blend it out correctly, and it's just like a whole bunch of pink, I'm then gonna have to color correct again after I go and mix the yellow foundation. Because I mean, pink and yellow, they make this muddy orange color. Like, I don't know, they're just colors you should not mix. Then after I color correct, what I do is I conceal. Now, you guys can skip this step. It just basically depends on the type of finish you want for your makeup that day. So I like high coverage, you know? Boom. Put it on me, because if it's on me, it's not by accident. So put it on me, you know? Thick lay of makeup. Then after I color correct, what I do is I conceal. Now, you guys can skip this step. It just basically depends on the type of finish you want for your makeup that day. So I like high coverage, you know? Boom. Put it on me, because if it's on me, it's not by accident. So put it on me, you know? Thick lay of makeup. Also, I am not a big fan of like the gray under eye. And I don't know if you guys know what I mean by the gray under eye, but it's basically like the look of you trying to conceal your bags and it just did not work out. Like, it just did not clear up that day. And so you have like this patchy gray area that shows through the makeup. It's awful. It's freaking awful. And so what I do is I go ahead and I add this extra layer of concealer before I go ahead and lay down my foundation, just so that I can make sure that that little gray guy doesn't show up. I don't like that. Now I conceal and I color correct using the same exact palette. There's no shame in that. There's no shame in that. Alright, so next I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna lay my foundation. This is the foundation that I absolutely love to use, okay? And it's a MAC NC47? NC42. It's MAC NC42 Studio Fit. Now I love this foundation because I have dry skin. I don't know if I've said it already, but I'm gonna say it again because it's that much of a problem. I have dry skin, and any foundation that is able to give me hydration, but then also like dry matte and velvety, take all my money. Take all my money. Because honestly, I find that with a lot of these foundations, I get either or, and I don't like it. Especially if you're the type of woman that buys makeup in like the $80 price point, man, does it hurt to go ahead and get a foundation and then all of a sudden you go home and now you're ashy. Or inside the store, it's one color, and then as it oxidizes throughout the day, by the time you get home, you're like 4 shades darker, and you're just like, what the hell did I buy? So when buying foundation, just make sure that not only does it give you the finish and the coverage that you need, but it also kind of matches some of the concerns. So maybe your skin concerns. Okay, so now after I lay my foundation, I usually like contour before I highlight. So I'm contouring with the same palette that I use to color correct and to conceal. However, I'm now using the color chocolate. But then I also, if you are familiar with the palette, or if you have the palette, I also like to mix my chocolate with a little bit of cinnamon. Because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like chocolate's a little bit too dark, but cinnamon is a little bit too light, like you don't really see anything. And when I contour my face, I like for there to be like a cut, okay? Like a cut. Like it looks like somebody just went and just boom, mad hard with like a marker or something, like see it. And then I just go ahead and blend it out so I don't look crazy, you know? Blending. So you wanna hear something crazy that happened to me when I finished like contouring my face? Okay, right? So boom, I go ahead, right? And I start venturing off into like different skincare products and stuff, because like that's my new thing. Like I want my skin to be like glass almost, you know? No texture, no pores. Ugh. And so I start venturing off and start using like different freaking just trying out different like acids and stuff, right? And so I was like, you know what, let me try salicylic acid or whatever, right? And so I'm trying this product or whatever, and I start to notice that the first 2 days is cool, everything is good and stuff, you know, my skin is looking nice and refreshed and just new. And so I was just like, I'm gonna keep using this product. And usually I give like products like a good week or more like a good 2 weeks before I go ahead and recommend said product to like other people, like just to see, you know. And so all of a sudden day 4 comes and I'm cleansing my face as normal, I'm using my little exfoliating pads and stuff. Day 4 comes around, all of a sudden my face starts peeling. Well, not so much peeling, but like my pores, they start like opening. And I'm just like, what is this? Like my face started to like get like a whole bunch of texture and a whole bunch of bumps and stuff. And I was just so confused because salicylic acid is basically like for acne prone skin. It's kind of like to calm the bumps down and to like stop the irritation. And I was just like, why my skin doesn't like this? Like, skin, drink it up, eat it up. And then I went back to the most like important question and was just like, why am I putting this on my face in the first place if my face don't need it? And I think that's like the biggest thing that I want to teach you guys. If your face doesn't need it, don't put it on. After contouring, I move on to my highlighting / concealing. And I usually use this little baby right here. And I use her in the color medium, okay? Now, I learned from experience that when I apply this concealer and I use a brush versus me applying this concealer and using like a beauty blender, you get a whole different lay. Not only do you get like a whole different lay, but you also get a whole different like amount of coverage. Also, I know I'm putting dots on my face, but that's just basically to show you where I like to highlight. But putting these dots on your face is not a good idea. I know you guys see a whole bunch of like pictures do it and whatnot, and so it's like I should too, and it's just like nah. They just put the dots on the face to go ahead and show you where you should be highlighting, but what happens is that as this dot is laying here, it makes it more and more difficult to go ahead and then give yourself an even blend. Why? Because your skin is warm. You are alive. You radiate heat. You're not dead, hopefully. And so basically, that heat goes ahead and it warms up the foundation or the concealer or whatever cream you have on your face, and it makes it stick, making the cream extremely hard to like move around and extremely hard to blend. So I usually will go ahead and I'll put a little bit, and then I'm not gonna leave it there and then do the other side. No, I'll do it like right away, And if I see that I'm not getting the coverage that I need, then I'll just go ahead and apply more. It's buildable. So after I highlight and I contour, I basically do my brows because why not? So first I set my brows because my brows are pretty long. So first I set my brows and I put them, I basically arrange and I comb them up into a place like I want them to stay, you know? And once I get them to stay and once I line them up, the brow setter actually dries the hair and keeps them in place. So that when I go ahead and go over my brow with my pomade or with my pencil, whatever I want to use that day, the hairs won't move. And also I think it kind of like gives you more of a natural look, you know? And this is the brow setter that I use. It's from Benefits and it's called 24-Hour Brow Setter. It's pretty dope. And it's pretty inexpensive too. Now doing my brows for you guys is gonna be a annoying experience. Very annoying experience because all brows are different. My brows, they change. Like, you know, they grow out of shape and all that other stuff, and so now I have to like keep finding new ways on how I could fill them in and still have them look natural. And just what ends up happening is that, hold on, let me adjust this. What ends up happening is just, I end up losing my brows little by little. They get cut shorter and shorter, or thinner and thinner, I should say. And then boom, I have no brow. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I like to have a full brow. I like to have a real set of hair on top of my eye. And it's so funny that I say that because the hair on my head don't be real. But the one on my face, definitely. And talking about hair on the face, quick story while I clean these things up. So boom, lately, right, I've been testing out like my own different formulas when it comes to like body lotions or when it comes to daily moisturizers and whatnot, only because I feel like the stuff that we get isn't like all natural and isn't like 100% clean either. So I've been like, you know, experimenting, whipping it up in the kitchen, and I came up with this batch, right, of, I'm gonna just call it skin crack. And so I came up with this batch of it and it was really working. Like my skin was looking amazing. My dark circles were like looking toned, and then my skin was just starting to look even when it comes to the color. And I was just like, yes, right? So I'm just like, boom, I hit the jackpot. Like, I'm gonna just start giving this to people, and then I'm gonna start having them create testimonials and stuff, because clearly this shit is working. Like, it's working for me. Was I ever so wrong? So a few weeks passed, I wanna say like 2 weeks passed, and I start to notice that my face is getting hairier and hairier. And I'm just like, why? Like, what the hell is going on? And so it was to the point that like I was growing my mustache, like my mustache was busting. I started getting hair on my cheek. Like, it was just too much. I was just like, okay, let me go back to the drawing board. Like, let me just really look at this stuff that I was using, right? And so basically I found out which ingredient was making all of the hair from my face grow in. And I was just like, wow, I now have another product on my hand. I can grow hair. But yeah, but of course I did not throw away the product. I put it to the side and was like, you know what? I'm gonna start using this baby on my edges. Because if this starts to bring my edges back, hello, Madam CJ Walker Jr. Like, yes. It's been like 2 weeks now that I've been putting it on my edges and stuff. And honestly, I'm gonna get back to you. Because really though, anything that can help women grow hair faster, grow hair longer. Cha-ching! Gonna do my brows. I usually go ahead and I like to do like a normal kind of eyeshadow look. And so for that, today we are going to use Juvia's. I absolutely love me some Juvia's. I feel like the colors are extremely pigmented and they're easy to blend. So what I've learned from like putting on eyeshadow is not to be scared of the eyeshadow. You guide the brush doesn't guide you. Do not get intimidated by how pigmented a color is as well, because all you gotta do is blend it out. And I know some of you are just like, but I've tried to blend and it just comes out into like a patchy mess or something else like that. And honestly, maybe it's because you're just holding your brush wrong. Like, I've noticed, like, wow, because I'm a self-taught makeup artist, so learning a lot of these techniques, I've learned that it's really not that deep. Sometimes it's the difference from holding your brush like this, like it's a freaking pencil all the way at the tip, and therefore your lines come out harsher, or you could just hold it from like back here, and as you start to use it, it's like less of a harsh application, you know? It's more fluffy, it's buildable, as opposed to just starting with like a really harsh line and then using that pencil grip to just like, nah. You want to be soft, you want to be delicate, but you also want high pigmentation. Don't be scared to layer your makeup. Don't be scared to layer your colors. Just know your color wheel though, because I mean, exactly what you learned in like 5th grade art, the same applies for like makeup. Like, why would you go and put like green on top of purple? That's gonna make like a muddy, disgusting color. So you also wanna, you know, mix colors or put colors on top of each other that actually go together, or that when they mix, they don't look like a swamp. Or like, you know, you got punched like a bruise. Boo 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 boo. Also, take your time blending. Like, I don't care what anybody says, take your time blending. If it takes you 6 hours to blend that look out, it took you 6 hours to blend the look out. Like what? And the world must wait. The world must wait. I'm probably using a method that other makeup artists wouldn't really use. And it's like pressing the eyeshadow like into the lid. Okay, and a lot of makeup artists don't really like using this method because it's hard to blend the colors. Again, remember what I taught you about like the heat and stuff? It's really hard to go ahead and to put like a really harsh line, you know, to go ahead and press makeup into the face and then expect for it to move. But Juvia has an amazing formula, and honestly, because I don't like fallout, being that I do my face before I do my eyes, I literally just press that shit on. I just press it in there. I press. And then when it's time to blend, then I'll go and I'll get my fluffier blending brush, and then, you know, I'll just work that in there. Circles. Softly too. Put my hands all the way back here and just start boop, boop. And just start blending so that it looks seamless. Okay, boom. And that is my eyeshadow. And I know I said that like it was gonna be like my normal everyday, but I promise you, I look like this every day. ahead and we're gonna move on to our lashes. Now this is the Lash Adhesive that I use, Duos. I will trace the bottom lash line, and I will go as the bottom lash line. It's like the bottom, it's the top. I'll trace the top lash line as close as I can get it to my brows. To my eyelashes without actually touching my eyelash hairs, because you get this to stick like to the lash and it's gonna pull your hair out. So I try to go ahead and get it as skinny as I can, okay, on the top lash line. Now we're gonna go ahead and let that dry. But the reason why I do this is because usually when I apply my lash glue to the lash first and then I struggle to place it on, the lash glue gets all over my lid, and then I have my eyelashes looking crooked or just not where I want them to be. And so I've noticed that with this method, the glue only goes where I put it, so that works a little better for me. Lashes that we're using for today's video are these. I basically just went and ran to the beauty supply real quick. I picked them up really fast so I can come back and create this for you. Because I went ahead and because I went ahead and I put the glue only where I wanted the lashes to be, I easily just use my fingers to put this on, because the lash is not gonna stick where the glue isn't, if that makes sense. So boom, and done. So after putting the lashes on, I like to then go ahead and basically use mascara to push the lashes, or to blend my normal lashes, my original lashes, with the falsies. So I just go ahead and I look up, and then I make sure that my lashes are sticking with the falsies. So this is the Kush mascara by Milk, and I was going off about this cosmetic brand earlier. However, you really only have, I want to say, like 6 good hours with this mascara, and it's because this mascara, it flakes, and it's so terrible. It is so terrible that it flakes, because honestly, like, I don't have falsies on, so it's hard for you guys to see, but that mascara really makes a difference. I swear it does. Like, you will have no lashes to mad lashes in like 3 seconds, 3 applications. But yeah, she dries out and she sheds, and then you have all these black little dots on your face. So I mean, if you're just going out, you're gonna pop out real quick and then you're gonna come back, I would go with this mascara. It's the Kush mascara. It's totally dope. So now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to bronze my face. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of use my bronzer to kind of deepen my contour. It works. The bronzer that I use is Hoola by Benefit. And she looks like this. Yeah, she pretty worn out. She worn out. But yeah, I really like this bronzer because it's like, it's creamy. It's not extremely drying. And I don't know, it gives you like a nice shadow. It's not too dark. Yeah, it's a nice little shadow, nice little blendable shadow. Me falta un ching de blush. Little rouge in the cheeks. And so basically this is what I'm gonna use. This palette is called Watch Me Blush. Can I clear up? Okay, yeah, it's called Watch Me Blush, and this is by the Crayon case. That's Super Scent's cosmetic line. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Super Scent, but that's her cosmetic line. And it is actually doing really well, and it's because the products are dope. So let's see. Go ahead and just blush that out. And I know I'm just stopping like right up here and I'm not really going like into my forehead, but it's because, guys, I wear wigs. Like, my stylist, she go ahead and she cut this forehead in half by like a lot, which I don't mind because I got the mega dome. Like, any of you who actually went to school with me or like grew up with me, do I have the piece? So honestly, I don't mind. And then when I go ahead and I like take my do-rag off because like I'm done with my makeup, then I take powder, like my bronzer, and then I'll just go ahead and just contour that in, but you'll see. Alright. Unching the blush. Okay, and so now we're basically just gonna highlight. I'm gonna set my under eyes, and then we're done. Alright, so we're gonna set. We are not gonna bake. And there is a difference, and I'll explain to you as I set and do not bake. But first, I'm using the Lock-it translucent powder by Kat Von D. And I like this powder because it's not that drying. I know you're kind of like, it's powder, like it's powder. How is it not drying? It's powder. But honestly, it just locks in like my makeup in place without giving me like an ashy gray like under thingy there. I don't like that. So it just sets my concealer. And then for this line right here, to go ahead and to smooth this out, I'm gonna go ahead and just drag that along here like this. Now, I'm setting, I'm not baking, okay? And there's definitely a difference. When you bake, you cake on so much powder on one little area to try to like smooth out the harsh lines. And it's kind of like for certain like cases, it's totally necessary, but not for a girl with a dry face. No. Sometimes like when I bake, it adds so much texture. It sucks. And then my face starts to look like the back of a Nestle Crunch bar. It's just so bumpy and gross, and it's because it's dry. And it's because the powder that I use, I left it on my face for like forever. Why? So I just set and I just make sure that I lock that in where I need it to be, where I want it to be. And then I go ahead and I brush that off. So now all that's left to do is my highlight, but before I put my highlight on, I like to set my face first. So I use a setting spray by Morphe, and basically this it adds moisture to your makeup, but then it also sets it in and it locks it in for all day wear. Also, being that it does add like that layer of moisture, when it's time to go ahead and put it on my highlight is going to be so vibrant and it's just going to glide like right on. Today for highlight, I'm going to be using the Morphe palette. Now, I like this palette because you get like a whole bunch of different colors and it's extremely affordable. You get like 8 colors for like 25 bucks. It's pretty dope. And the colors are like extremely vibrant. Like, watch. So I like to highlight this area right here. Go ahead and make that nice and shiny. Ooh. She need more. Okay. But yeah. So usually when I do my highlight, I like to highlight the places that the sun naturally kisses, if that makes sense. And I don't like to use too much either because it can look ashy. Depending on which highlight you get, you can just have the hugest patch of ash dead on your face. And so we're gonna go ahead and make sure we get a nice even layer. Nice even layer. ease off. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna make sure I darken the areas around my forehead that I couldn't get. You know? Just darken those areas that I could not reach. Oh, and yes, of course, this is a wig, guys. Come on, come on. Come on. So, boom, there it is. Boom, there it is. Boom, there it is. And that is how I do my everyday beat. Honestly, it doesn't really change. The only thing that changes is basically like my eyeshadow, depending on where I'm going. But it's pretty much the same. And honestly, it's easier than you think. So if you're a beginner and you're thinking about like getting into makeup or experimenting with makeup, go for it. Throw it on there. Just blend. I promise you, blending. If you don't know what you're doing, blend. And it's gonna look amazing. Hopefully. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Make sure you like and subscribe because I'm gonna be coming back with more makeup tips, makeup how-tos, and makeup history. Okay, Morticia. Okay.